Hi guys, Matt from the Big River here. We got more fish to unbox this week. We also got a little order of reptiles. First thing up is the reptiles. So let's get this going and see who's in the box. First off, got a lot of crested geckos in. Nice group of lily whites. I'm loving the color differences on these guys. These are all lily whites, but all different patterns. Look at that cool pattern down that one's back. Super neat crested geckos. Also got some flames and some harlequins. Sometimes I have a hard time telling the difference between the different patterns, but when I said we got a bunch of crested geckos, I meant we got a lot of crested geckos. Those are all cresties. Did get a couple leopard geckos, just these little guys. Filling in some color variants because we're getting a little bit monochromatic back there. We still have, a couple dozen, more than a couple dozen leopard geckos. Great time to get one. And then we got in horned frogs. Had people asking me for horned frogs, and got an opportunity to get them for a great price from you. Got color variations here. Should have been one Pikachu in here. There's a Pikachu. Yep, sure enough, lighting on him. He's a little green, kind of a little greener than I'd expect for a Pikachu, but he's got yellow-green. Also got a couple of giant pixie frogs. Those are your African bullfrog or pixie frog. Another green Pac-Man, another color variant on a Pac-Man. I must have picked up one of the pixies or I missed it. Snakes, got a couple different snakes in today. Here's an albino milk snake. Also got another milk snake. This one's called an apricot. And get a little bit of blue light coming off the reef tank there, but apricots, rather than a bright white, have kind of an orange color to those white stripes. Very fun. Another variant here. This is a king snake, the lavender brooks. I haven't had a lavender. We used to call that a lavender chain. Beautiful animal. And let's see. Got western hognose. Got a taffy colored one. They're hypomelanistics. They look kind of orange brown. Very cool. Got a decent price on that one. And then we splurged and got a super anaconda, or superconda they call that. Beautiful. Love the little hearts on their head there. Haven't had a veil chameleon baby in a while since we sold out the last of our batch that we hatched here last year. So we went ahead and picked up a baby veil chameleon. Nice fat little chonker. And last in the box is a baby bearded dragon. We have a nice little group here. Fantastic. We'll restock on stuff that we sell a lot of, so come check them out. Fish up next. Let's go after that. Try to get these guys back in the box. Freshwater order only on fish this week because we were working on moving the saltwater tanks. Next week we should have a saltwater restock. Depending on what's available, we'll start filling up those display tanks again. Very excited to do that. Steeling myself to be a good boy and not order more in that area because I knew we were going to move them and it would be stressful on them. First up out of this box, we have Singapore shrimp restock on those guys. We've sold out of those 2 weeks in a row, so that's more of those if you're looking for them. Next is neon gold blue eye tetras. That's an albino neon with a blue eye to it. Sometimes they don't have the blue eye. Fahaka puffer, good sized one. Got one this size on the last order. Sold it right away, so we got another one. Neat fish. They do get 16 inches, so that is not big. That is like 4 inches. Celestial pearl daniels. I think I got these coming from two sources because we've had a little bit of trouble with how they've come in the last couple weeks. So double check to see who's where. We'll put them a couple different places and we'll have good CPDs for you. Odessa barbs, big guys, nice. Look like they'll color up nice in the tank. Fantastic Odessa barbs. And coolie loaches, another fan favorite. Nice batch of banded coolie loaches. Next is a good sized fish. What are you? A Lanacara firefish. It's a hybrid type Lanacara or African peacock. So I've got a couple of those guys on this order. Yeah, 2 of 2. We got 2 firefish. A couple of bettas on this order. Not a lot. We had crown tails, I think, is all we got in this week. And last is some border loaches. These are the Burma borders, or they'll call them the spot belts, or there are a couple different common name for those guys. Think of another. There's about 3 different ones. The Kubutai loach. That's why they sometimes slip off my radar, because they have so many different possible common names that can be a little bit confusing on which one they are. But neat loach. They don't get particularly big, and they're not quite as ornery as like a yo-yo loach. Do want to be in a group like any of your loaches, so get yourself a nice little colony of those guys. Looks like pygmy cories. Yes, nice batch of those guys. Been getting these tank raised pygmy cories. Been coming in small but healthy. Nice looking little fish. Remember, your pygmy cories only get about an inch. Bronze cories, restock on those. Sold out the last of that last batch. I think those guys were either Venezuelans or split to Venezuelans. They were a local sport. These are your regular bronze cories. Here's another African peacock. This is the red Reuben, or Malayar. Pronounce that right. Malari, excuse me, Elanocara species Malari, or the red Reuben. Here's another one. Got a couple of those red Reubens. Nice big African peacocks, gorgeous males. Everybody wants the males, and why not? They're beautiful. Here is some small pearl grammies, not very small though. Nice size to them. I think we got large ones on this order as well. Here are some black neons for the Tetra Special. Buy 4 or more, get 25% off of any of your Tetras here at the Big River, just for subscribing to our channel, and the black neons are part of that. Next up is some wild Juraparis. Haven't had these in just a bit. These are St. Neporica Jurapari. Used to call them Geophagus, but they switched them to St. Neporica a few years ago. There's an irony there, because those are like the quintessential earth eater or geo. Another type of zipper coolie, or another type of coolie loach. These are the zippers. They're a little bit smaller than your standard banded coolies. And some cardinal tetras. Nice little stock of those guys. These are the tank raised ones. The wild ones weren't available this week, though. I've got a line on some from a different source. We might have those next week. We'll see. If not, I'm sure these guys will have them back in, the wild ones again, before too long. Gotta have cardinal tetras. They are one of our perennial best-selling tetras, and again on the Tetra Special, buy 4 or more, get 25% off. Tiny little fish. These are least killifish. Least killifish have become available this year from this particular source. Had been trying for years to get them and couldn't find them, but now they seem to be very available. We love that, because they're a great little live bear. They are actually the smallest of the killies. The males are the smallest. These are albino dwarf frogs. One of these guys croak. Looks like one of them croaked. Most of them look pretty good though. Those are the albino dwarf frogs. Hopefully a little better shape than the last group we got. And let's see, next up is glow light Danios. Underappreciated Daniel, actually one of my very favorite Danios. Bright orange colors on them, along with some yellows. Really pretty. There's some more dwarf frogs, the regular brown colored ones. So I got albinos and dwarf regulars. And an African butterfly. Not as big as the last one we got, but very active apparently. Flying fish, those guys, very fun. And wow, that's a baby monster right there. About twice as big as the last one of those we got. That's a silver arowana. Remember, that's going to be a 4-foot fish someday, so plan appropriately. Pseudomogol luminatus, red neon rainbow. They're one of the pygmy rainbows. Only get to about 1.5 to 2 inches. Tiny little guys, more of these crown-tail bettas. Great nano fish. We call them the dancer group, because they hold their fins up high and have a little color tip right at the bottom. It looks like they're dancing at the top of the water. Not a lot in guppies this week, but I got some flamingos. Nice bright colors. I think even nicer than the last batch of flamingo guppies. White clouds, got in some private party white clouds yesterday, and also ordered some, so we got a couple options for white clouds along with the other varieties of white cloud. Giant male betta. When I said we only got the crown tails, I guess I forgot about the giants. Oops. Maybe I've got another type too. I think I got, yeah, these are double tails, so I forgot how many we got. I got half moon double tails, crown tails, and giants on this order. Yeah, there's another giant. Giganto. We'll love that. When we can get them, we always do. And gold nugget, L18, gold nugget pleco. Those are a biofilm eating son of a gun. They are great at eating algae because they knock off the algae while they're getting the biofilm. You just got to have enough to support them. They are a very hungry animal. Somebody's asking me about these the other day, ornate glassfish or Trollcola Cherex ornatus. Awful Latin. But ornate glassfish is another name for those. I don't get them that often because they're easy to overlook. They're kind of mostly see-through, but very neat little nanofish. On the opposite end of the scale, we got an African knife. African knives are not the biggest of the knife fish, and not that often are they available, so we pick them up when we can. Kind of a fun guy for a bigger community will work. Here's a fish I have never seen in real life. This is a butterfly barb. There's, as I remember right, 2 varieties of these. They are actually a nanofish, not as small as the dwarf amber barbs, as you can see from that, but incredibly colorful, beautiful little barb that's really hard to come by. So I'm really stoked about those. I tried to order them one other time, and the shipper didn't even acknowledge that I'd put them on the order. I was like, man, at least put a 0 on there. Don't just skip them. So super excited about that. Not sure where I'm going to put those. They deserve a place of honor. Those are one of the hardest to get fish we've received this year. Those least killifish used to be about as hard to get, and now they are available. So next year maybe those butterfly barbs will be everywhere. They come from a place that's hard to get fish from, though, whereas the least killies come from Florida. Let's see, next up, these are Altolumporlogus compressiceps towimbi black, or black towimbis. These are the crushed head looking Tanganyikan cichlids. Very neat little guys, related to the calvus. And here are some dwarf gouramis. Got a couple varieties of dwarf gourami this week. This is a regular dwarfs, like they should come out of the river. I think we got powder blues coming this week as well. Here are those large pearl gouramis I promised you. A bit bigger, quite a bit bigger, and nice color on those too than the other batch, a little bit bigger anyway. Who's bouncing around here? Another Tanganyikan. These are Neolamprologus caudopunctatus redfin, or the redfin shell dweller, caudopunctatus. Very fun, those guys. And here are those dwarf gouramis I promised, the powder blue variety of male dwarf gourami. Next up is chain loaches. Dwarf chain loaches are not a very big loach and not very aggressive, which makes them a great choice for a community tank for snail patrol. You do want to do them in a group, but they are a really cool add to any tank. The German blue ram, we've been out of those for a couple weeks. Restock on those guys. Still got some really nice black ones over there. May have some electric blues in the next box too. We'll see what the invoice says. Last thing out of this box is some assorted female guppies to go along with those flamingo guppies. And that's it for that order, actually. We've got another little order. It's mostly shrimp and feeders, but there may be a couple other cool things on there. In fact, I think there's a couple plants on there and some snails. Let's see what comes out of this box. Reptiles, shrimp, freshwater, a little bit of plants. Oh, we got a plant order coming tomorrow also. So lots of restock this week. First thing up is some feeder guppies. Look like very many of them. Let's see if they come alive or dead. Here's another batch of feeder guppies. That's exciting because we've not had them for the last couple weeks. Hopefully they do well. Here's some long-fin zebra danios. Very long fins on those, so gotta like that. Here's some snails. It looks like the thorns. I'm not going to open them up. These are red-spotted neorites, or are they zebras? One of the two. We were out of one of them. I got the right one, so we'll see when we get them out of the bag. That's flagtail proskiotus, actually one of the yellowtail variety versus the pinktail. Or some of them have pink salmon color, some of them have kind of a yellow. They're pretty subtle difference between them, but that is one of the harder to get species. And these are those CPDs I told you about, a little bit smaller than the last group. We'll see which group holds up better. And here's some electric blue rams, those of which I promised you as well. Nice little batch of those guys, really tiny, but nice color on those electric blue rams. Who are you guys? Oh, some swordtails. These are lyre-tail swordtails. And some of those look a little skinny, but mostly just some really cool fins on those, so very nice. A lot of males in that group, and then some more feeder guppies. So that is that box. One more box to go. Let's probably have those shrimp that I promised you. Notably, they did not have Bloody Marys this week, so we're going to be a little short on those, but we should have a nice restock on blues, reds, Amanos, Rillies. Really should anyway. I can't let it go by, guys. I just can't. That's really too easy. All right, plants. Here is some nice extra large Amazon swords and a couple cups of Rickia moss. So I got 4 cups. I thought I ordered 3. Maybe I ordered 4. Maybe I ordered 6. I don't know. Anyway, Rickia moss is one of my absolute favorite floating plants. It's a little bit challenging to get going, but if you can get it going, it does kind of a circular pattern on the top and real dense, really pretty plant. Anyway, let's see what's in the bag. That's in the box. We got some feeder comets. Got to have those. Ghost shrimp. Got to have those. Here's red crystal shrimp. Didn't mention those, but we got them. And those are the Rillies. Really is the red Rillies. Kind of a blue cast to some of those. I haven't carried the other color Rillies for a while. If you're looking for them, we can get them, except for the oranges. Oranges have been hard to get. Mono shrimp, that's the large ones. And blue shrimp, nice big bag of blue shrimp. And the last bag on this week's order is cherry shrimp. Nice bright red on those, dark burgundy, almost looks like a Bloody Mary. Nice group there. Hi guys, Matt from the Big River here. We got more fish to unbox this week. Got a freshwater order, got a little saltwater order, and another specialty order. So I got a couple things coming out of the box this week. Let's get right into it. First thing up is a black ghost knife. Just one this week. Keep a nice little stock of those guys on hand. Great if you know what you're getting into. Get pretty big. Another gets mildly big, African knife. Actually, of the knives, it's one of the smaller ones, but very nice little guy. Closer to a community fish than most of your knives would be. Oh, very fun. Here's a small waru, and when I say small, he is indeed small. These guys get big, about up to 12 inches, big and round. They call them the poor man's discus. They're not quite as colorful, but they are very beautiful fish. And a little on the sensitive side, but not quite as hard to handle as a discus is. Got a bunch of those. Also got a bunch of African butterflies. Somebody asked me to bring in a little herd of these guys. A lot of times we'll do them as a single fish, but if you do them in a group, they actually will do schooling, and they look pretty cool if you got the right environment. So we brought in that batch for somebody. We do a lot of special orders every week. We are available for special orders in general. So if you're ever looking for something or want a special buy on something, let us know. We'll hook you up, because that's one of the things we do. More butterflies. Whole box of butterflies. Okay, this is not a butterfly. That is golden cloud. L48 golden cloud. One of the, it's a scobian citrus, right? Yeah, scobian citrus is actually a pretty good algae eater. Doesn't get particularly huge, maybe about 8-10 inches. So not giant, but decent size. They do well eating algae in a more aggressive tank like a cichlid tank. So a good choice for that over a common. Chili raspora, very, very fun little nano fish, perhaps our most popular. Yeah, those golden clouds are an option for a pretty pleco to go in a more aggressive tank, which is an unusual thing if you expect them to actually eat algae, that is. All right, another box. What do we got in the box? Fish, I'm guessing. Perennially popular these days, green tiger barbs, very beautiful barb. Great choice for schooling in your mildly chasey tank. Nice little batch of Danny cories. I've been trying to get Danny cories in for a long while, and they just haven't been available this year, so that's only the second batch we've got in the last 12 months. Get yours while they're hot. Roseline sharks, restock on those this week. Love those guys. And green neons, those have been a little bit hard to get as well. So a couple different things that we've been having a hard time tracking down before you came in. Cominatos, got a nice big bag of those. Double order because we sold out last week again. So we doubled up to make sure we had some for you. Oh, nice size fire eel. This is not a tiny, tiny fire eel, but not at a huge price, so a pretty good choice. Remember, your fire eel is a fish that can get that long and that big around. They don't all get that big, but that is totally possible if you get into a fire eel. Let's see. pygmy multi-striped loach. I really love these little guys. They're a little hovering loach, a little bit bigger than your rosy loach. Got the nice little stripe pattern. Good for nano or even community or even a nano tank. So very fun fish. Went through that box. I didn't put the fish in it. Let's try that again. Got to have some place to unpack my boxes. The cart runs that very well, but it doesn't do it when it's full. So got to move them. Trying out this new place to do our filming. We had to adjust up. The blue light coming off the reef tank has been a bit of a challenge. Standing in it all day and those UV lights will give you a headache. When I say you, I mean Barry. She's over there trying to film with it in the side of her eye. We covered it up today. Peacock gudgeons, one of my favorite little oddball fish. They're goby type, ostensibly. Nice little carnival pattern on them, red and yellows and pinks, very pretty. African cichlids, we got just a couple on this order. This is a demasonized cichlid, which has those broad up and down blue and black stripes. The other end of things is the tetra. These are rummy-nosed tetra, along with the green neons, are on our tetra special. Buy 4 more, get 25% off for subscribing to our channel. Another order of bamboo shrimp. We go through a lot of bamboo shrimp here, and for good reason. Very fun, very non-imposing fish. Well, I guess shrimp. Lemon cichlid, or the Neolampologus lelupi. We're crazy about those. We might say we're loopy for those. Very pretty little Tanganyikan cichlid. And yes, that was a stretch and a horrible joke, but I love my bad jokes. If you love my bad jokes, tell me. Give me a bad joke to share. We'll share it next time. Twig catfish. This is a fun algae eater. Actually underappreciated for how good they are at eating biofilm and algae in general. They get long, but not big. Very fun fish. Neon tetra, part of our Tetra special. Buy 4 more, get 25% off. We sold out of neons last week, which is an oddity. We usually have at least 100 laying around. Panda cories, again, very popular. Got to have them. Perhaps our most popular cory. And another very popular fish. These are the Synodontis lucipinus, or the dwarf petricoli, the small version of the leopard Synodontis fish. There's, let's see, 5 different versions that I can think of, and there's actually a poly too, so 6. The polys are really uncommon, but sometimes, get me nerding out on things. The polys don't exist, that they're just darker colored loose or petricoli, and oh boy, you get into those discussions about some of those things, and you get some opinions flying one way or another. Cool fish. Don't get big and are great in just about any situation. Speaking of very cool fish, these are large clown loaches. We were out of large ones, so I brought in a little batch. They look very good, nice and thick, not incredibly long, but nice and thick bodied. Reticulated hill stream loach, love those guys as well. For a cooler water, fast water fish, the hill streams are your bet, and those are some of the most popular. Who's in here? This is more, this is more leopard Synodontis, but these are the cuckoos, the multipunctatus. As much as they look about the same size in the bag, maybe they'll get this size on the lucipinus and that size on the cuckoos. So make sure you get the right one for your tank, both of which are pretty unaggressive. They won't mess with but the smallest of tank denizens. Koi tuxedo guppies, got another batch of those guys in, males and females. We've been selling those by the pair, and they've been very popular for all that great color. Back on those catfish, I've done Synodontis cats in community tanks, and I've done them in African cichlid tanks. If you get the right sizing on the fish, and it doesn't take that much care, you can have very good luck with either. Speaking of sizing, these are small barbs, checker barbs. Get stuck in the barb aisle, but they are a lot easier going than tiger barbs or some of their other buddies. So good choice for most any community tank, really. Platinum hatchets, they're also on the Tetra special for all their weird look with that droop belly on them. They are a Tetra, and if you buy 4 more and you subscribe to our channel, you can have 25% off of them. Clown pleco, inexpensive, cute little pleco that doesn't get very big, only that big. That's full size on a clown pleco. They're not a great algae eater, though they'll eat biofilm, and wood is their primary. Nice males in here. Threadfin rainbows, beautiful fish. Gotta love some threadfin rainbows. And last fish on this part of this order is some zebra eels. There's Macronathus sabrinus, or zebra eel. I haven't had those probably in a year or two. Very cool pattern on those. I've had a little trouble making sure those guys get enough to eat, so you got to make sure they get fed. But other than that, that's it for that group. We'll be back shortly. And we're back. I got an order just in from the airport. Got some, should have some saltwater in here. Invoice there. Try to get my buddy James to step in here and do name that fish. He went running as soon as the camera started rolling. Come on, guys, make it fun. Black worms, first thing out of the box. Gotta love them. And after that, we have some feeder comets. Looks like at least some of them are swimming. Also got ocean nutrition. That looks, oh, that's just an ice pack. Tiger pods and some other live foods in there for y'all. All right, and up next. I see Bo running too. All you guys are just running when I say, come on guys, come film with me, it'd be fun. No, really it is. We have a lot of fun with this. Okay, big stuff. What's in here? That is a moray eel, but that is brackish moray. It's they call it a snowflake. Nice good sized moray. These guys look like eels, but they're not. These are dragon gobies, so those are brackish / freshwater. They do pretty good in the freshwater, where the morays really don't. They got to have salt to do well. And more semi-brackish, semi-freshwater. These are sailfin mollies. Got in green ones this time. I like the greens. They're kind of the wild look. All right, that's 2 boxes down. I got 3 to go. Let's see what else we got in here. Really not as much saltwater as I'd hoped to pick up today, but you know, something. We'll probably do another order for saltwater next week to make it even more interesting. Next up out of the box we have monos, more brackish. Apparently I went crazy on the brackish. Asked for 6, they gave me 2, so I guess get your 2 monos argentus today. Oh, very cool. Red-tailed saber tusk. Those are a specialty fish. Since they've been hard to get feeding, glad we got the black worms in. Also need guppies for them to get them going. Really not easy to get those guys on prepared food at all. Big puffer. This is a humpback. Somebody's asking me for a big humpback. I had said, I got it right here. No, we didn't. We sold it. So here's another one. Let's see. Rope fish, another big fish eventually. They'll get about 2 feet. Rope fish this size. Take a while to get there, but they will be like big around as a small broom handle and about that long. So very cool fish. And this is a monster. Lots of monsters on this order apparently. That's a tiger shovel nose. I've been popping for a little bit bigger one than we normally get for. Get these itty bitty ones and they're really hard to get going, but they get this size and they're much more likely to survive. 4-foot fish eventually. Speaking of a 4-foot fish, this is an Abba knife. It's actually an electric knife. All the knives are a little bit electric, but this guy is known for popping quite a bit of current, and they get absolutely monstrous. Very cool species fish. Speaking of which, another monster in the making. This is a red-tailed cat. Apparently we had monster fish order today. Not such a monster. This is a yellow mimic tang. It's they call him a chocolate tang or a yellow mimic, and that guy will get pretty good size too. That's a Valton lion. Is it a Valton? Yeah, it was a Valton we bought today. I was trying to remember if I got a peacock or Valton. We went for the Valton. Totally different. Black ruby barbs, itty bitty. Now they'll get a couple inches. We've got some better sized ones over there too. What else do we get in here? Oh, cories. These are Schwartzy cories. They kind of look like they got burnt in shipping. That's too bad. Schwartzys are a Brazilian cory. They're kind of hard to get on by. Like them. If they don't carb in the bags, though, a lot of times they don't do well. And I should have reminded them. Usually they do a better job, but they did not carb in those bags, so I think those are going to be a loss. That's really too bad. Neat cory. Of course, you guys all know I love my cories. Alrighty. Okay. Why don't you come over here for this one? There is a fish in the box. That is a gigantic flower horn. Actually in water this time. Last time it was almost completely out of water. This is a 9-inch one, biggest one we've ever bought. A little bit more expensive than the last one, but worth every penny. very cool giant fish. And one more box. Let's play one more round of what's in the box. Where did I put my knife? Point, there it is. Haha. Lose things if they're not tied to me. All right. What do we got in the box? Didn't realize I'd ordered quite so much brackish fish. Apparently, I was on a brackish kit today. You know, I got to get them when they're available. Anthias. Got a nice group of Anthias. These are the Dispars. So I got a 3-pack of those guys. Here's another one. Some Astrea snails. Nice little turban Astrias or cones. Here's an algae blenny. Looks like a starry, but it's a algae blenny one way or another. Lawnmower blenny if you prefer. Keyhole angel, another saltwater mini angel. Let's see, that is orange spotted sleeper goby. It's one of the, similar to the diamond sleeper, nice sand sifting goby. A homa homa trigger, not a bad size. Popping his little nose out there. We've gotten them like that big before, but actually that guy's a little bit bigger and not particularly expensive. Are you just upside down and being weird? Yeah, they'll do that. This is a Royal Grama. You just can't figure out which side's up. He's going to do all right. And then, oh, a bicolor angel, tiny bicolor angel. They are a miniature angel, but they're not as miniature, maybe about that big on those guys. More saltwater. We got a firefish. That's a goby. Got the little dick on top. That's why they call them a firefish. And another algae blenny or lawnmower blenny. Got a pair of those guys today. And the blue tang. Oh my gosh, she's tiny. I was kind of hoping a little bit bigger because they've been coming in expensive. We had a bigger one. We sold it for way too good a price. So you're welcome on that. Here is a mess of peppermint shrimp. Good for your aptasia, not great for your reef. I'm going to go ahead and do both of these. These are electric blue lobsters, which are not saltwater. Those are freshwater. Species tank on those. There's another one of those Anthias I promised. All 3 of those guys. And then an urchin, long-spined urchin. Very nice. And, oh, Thai micro crabs, not saltwater either. They look like spiders in there. But those are Thai micro crabs. And I believe this is my last bag of this order, this week's order. Long-nosed hawkfish, itty-bitty guy. Not the smallest one we've got, but he's awfully small. Very pretty pattern on those long-nosed hawks. All right, and that's it for saltwater, freshwater, inverts, and otherwise.